Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome to what I can honestly say is one of the best World of Tanks battles I can remember seeing in a very, very long time. Not least of which because of a couple of things that go horribly, horribly wrong very early in this battle, and yet despite that, well, you're just going to have to watch, aren't you? So, this is Mighty Sniper in the T100LT in a Tier 10 battle on the Ghost Town map. Now, the T100LT was considered somewhat overpowered when it was first introduced into World of Tanks many years ago, but like every other light tank in the game, it was rendered obsolete basically overnight when Wargaming introduced armoured cars, and there are of course two armoured cars in this battle. Both teams have an EBR. Well, both teams have an EBR right now, but both teams are not going to have an EBR for very long, because the friendly EBR is very shortly about to achieve something that most EBR drivers, even the bad ones, can only dream of achieving in World of Tanks. He's going to be the first one killed. I don't know how he's going to accomplish this. In fact, he already has. So, and you know what they say about World of Tanks, the team with the most EBRs wins, and right now, that's not Mighty Sniper's team. So, having already lost their overpowered scouts, Mighty Sniper now switches flanks. He's heading over to where the EBR died in order to get some spotting done for that line of tank destroyers, including the S-tank over there, who was last seen telling the EBR to grow a pair of balls and get out there and spot. And, all it did was get them both killed. So, yeah, Mighty Sniper turns up not a second too soon. And you can see where the EBR died. So, I mean, this looks like a safe spot, but it clearly isn't. You've got the wreck of the ship blocking line of fire and some nice bushes there to spot through, but it clearly didn't save the EBR. And that's the reason why. The enemy Rheinmetall Panzer, he was clearly the one doing the spotting, and he's taken a hit, and it was a pretty big one, but, well, clearly the tank destroyers behind him were more on the ball than the tank destroyers behind Mighty Sniper. And honestly, I think the S-tank just quit as soon as the EBR died, because he was making no efforts at all to get back into cover. Mighty Sniper trying to respot the Rheinmetall Panzer, because that guy definitely needs to die. There he is. Oh, at least one of the friendly tank destroyers was on the ball. That was a good hit. And Mighty Sniper closes in for the follow-up, and it's here where he makes his one mistake. While backing up, he runs into the wreck of the... Oh, shit, there it is. Oh, man. That one's going to make your eyes water. While backing up to get into cover, he ran into the wreck of the S-tank. So, you know, thanks S-tank. And then he delayed momentarily because his driver had been taken out by the shot from the Rheinmetall Panzer and used his med kit. And he could afford to take the hit from the Rheinmetall Panzer because he ended up killing him and that guy needed to die. I mean, it was a fair amount of damage, but he could afford to take it. He really couldn't afford to take the hit from the Death Star. That was a lot of damage. It's going to take a couple of packs of flex tape to fix the holes that one left. He's down to 141 health right at the start of the battle. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is when you're playing light tanks in World of Tanks these days. There is absolutely no margin for error. It's not like you're in an EBR and you can usually just rely on your wheels to magically absorb 183mm armor piercing shells. But the T100LT does have a couple of things going for it that EBRs don't. Incredibly good stealth for one thing, way better than an armoured car, and an incredibly low profile, which means he's able to spot that Leopard 1, and the tank destroyers forming the gun line behind him are on the ball, and they waste no time whatsoever in completely obliterating the Leopard. Mighty Sniper sneaking up further, trying to get some eyes on that line of tank destroyers up there. And there's the Death Star. A little fire support please fellas. There we go. And again, lovely. The shit barn racks up its first kill. So that's the Death Star disposed of, which I'm sure is a relief. And we don't know exactly what else is up there. I mean, there are at least another 2 Tier 10 tank destroyers. We know the enemy team have an FV4005 of their own up there and a T110E4, but there may be more. In fact, there are. There's the Grilla 15. Anyone? Lovely, thank you. Follow-up shot. And the FV4005 claims his second kill. So, everything's going well. he can just sit here and continue to spot, right? Well, in an ideal world, you wouldn't be getting bum rushed by the EBR on the enemy team. Although that probably came as just as much of a surprise to the EBR as it did to Mighty Sniper. And yes, that 100mm APCR shell did just bounce off the EBR's 40mm of armour because those things are complete bullshit, but, well, there were so many tank destroyers sitting back here just waiting to shoot at things that Mighty Sniper spotted that not even the EBR's magical mystery bullshit armour could stand up against that amount of concentrated firepower. And unless I'm very much mistaken, the friendly shipborne just racked up his third kill. Now, I'm sure at this point that the light tank drivers amongst you are staring at the screen in utter disbelief thinking, hang on a minute, he's spotting targets and his team are actually shooting at them. Yeah, I know, right? And he's, nailing the odd target of opportunity every now and then as well when he can, and when it's safe to do so, because with 141 health, and there are still at least another 2 tier 10 tank destroyers up there, you do kind of need to be careful. But he also knows that he's his team's eyes and ears up here, so he is definitely not going to be hanging back. Oh, hang on a minute. The shipborne's been spotted, but that was an artillery shot that knocked out the Kramwagen. Yeah, there's the Conqueror orbital laser cannon. He's going for the shipborne though. It has a fearsome gun, but the turret on that thing only has something like 30mm of armour. A tier 1 tank could kill it. It would take a while, but it's certainly theoretically possible. And this is where things start to go a little bit wrong. I mean, not terribly wrong, but they were 4 kills up just less than a minute ago. The enemy team are starting to close the gap. He's going to sneak the occasional kill here, of course, wherever he can. Why not? He's in a flanking position. He's got hard cover. He's got them looking right at him. Back up, back up. Yeah, they know he's here. Although I'm not quite sure where that artillery shot was aimed. It's at this point that I noticed that E3 is pushing up alone. Now, it's a tough machine with a big gun, but it doesn't have a huge amount of health left, and there are at least 3 enemy tanks there. The shipborne is not following him, and honestly, I'm finding it hard to blame him, because he only has 30mm of turret armour, and his turret's the size of a barn. That's why it's called the shipborne. Even the Conqueror gun carriage could one-shot him. So, the sad fact is, Mighty Sniper's moved up to try to spot for him, but it's fairly inevitable that going up alone there, the E3 was going to die. Of course, the outcome would have been different if the shipborne had gone up there with him. They might have both died. And he didn't go up there with him. That's the point. He's in fact fallen back to behind Mighty Sniper. There he is. And the E3 was aware that he should have been aware that the shipborne was fallen back. I'm pretty sure his minimap works the same as everybody else on the team. Pushing up alone, definitely a misplay. He wasn't technically 100% alone, but there's a limit to the amount of support that Mighty Sniper can give with a 100mm gun. Particularly since if he takes even the hint of a hit here, he's dead. And those guys over there have taken quite enough damage from his spotting that they are going to be extremely keen to see him removed from the game. The problem now is that with the exception of the Object 261 artillery, who is rapidly running low on ammunition, there isn't really anybody to take advantage of the spotting that Mighty Sniper was doing from that position. Plus, there could be anybody in the middle of the map getting ready to outflank that shipborne. So, Mighty Sniper signals to the shipborne he's coming to help. And then he works his way over here. Try to see if he can get a better angle and potentially also spot anybody trying to sneak up through the city. The friendly progetto indicates that he's also coming to help and they've spotted the shipborne. One shot goes in. The Object 261 artillery had his finger on the button, ready to go. Unfortunately, he just missed. The enemy shipborne survives to fight on with less than 100 health remaining. The friendly shipborne, who it has to be said has been an amazingly good teammate for Mighty Sniper thus far, but he was just not in the right position to get a shot. Artillery shell from the Conqueror orbital laser cannon goes flying in there. That means that they're still convinced that Mighty Sniper is hiding behind this rock. Unfortunately, now he is hiding behind this rock. Again, the friendly Object 261 keeps hammering that position over there. Again, Mighty Sniper sneaks a kill in. He nails the ship bomb. There is still an E4 over there, however, and the artillery, and those are just the ones that we know of. Although I'm reasonably confident that if there were any further enemy machines in that exact position, thanks to Mighty Sniper's spotting, we would have seen them. But that doesn't mean there aren't any on the other side. There's still another Tier 10 tank destroyer on the enemy team, the Gorilla 15. And it's now where the FV 4005 does start to move up to give the direct support that Mighty Sniper's been begging for. But I'm not convinced it is a good idea, because he has to cross all of that open ground, and anything could be shooting at him from the flank on the way over. Like that. That's exactly what I was afraid of. And that's exactly what would have happened if he tried to back up the E3 earlier. Oh, he's going to die. He is going to die. They've got him. Well, the good news is Mighty Sniper did at least get the artillery. The bad news is he didn't need to lose the FV 4005 in order to do it. He would have killed the artillery even if the ship bomb hadn't advanced up to that spot. So they basically just lost a 183mm gun for nothing. He's managed to get eyes back on the E4. He is still down there. The thing is, judging by the number of shots that hit the FV 4005, I'm pretty sure the Gorilla 15 and at least the Object 140, possibly also the M48 Patton, have their eyes in this direction as well. But it's here, while stalking the E4, that Mighty Sniper, oh and by the way, the Object 261 is now out of ammunition. That was his last shot. So he's getting no more indirect fire support. The Progetto, who has less than 100 health remaining as well, is moving up with the promise of support and assistance. But it's here where Mighty Sniper demonstrates his absolute mastery of passive spotting. Look at this. Look at this. You want fire support? You spot the target, you'll get fire support. Absolutely textbook beautiful. I mean, you've got to hand it to the team. They were the ones doing the shooting, but he was the one doing the spotting. World of Warships players who are slumming it here in a World of Tanks video might be asking themselves, what's the point? It's not like it rewards you anything for it. Well, not in World of Warships, no. But in World of Tanks, it very, very definitely does. It's almost as if they actually want you to work as a team in World of Tanks and incentivize you when you do so. Because in World of Tanks, unlike in World of Warships, where spotting targets basically just puts you in danger for almost no reward, here in World of Tanks, well, you can see next to the paper doll of Mighty Sniper's tank, he's done 7,700 spotting damage as well as 2,000 damage of his own. So he'll earn experience for the 2,000 damage that he's done, and then he'll earn 50% experience and credits for the 7,700 damage that was done to targets that he was spotting. So it is very definitely worth it here in World of Tanks. Nailed the M48, well he didn't, but his team did, he was the one spotting him, so that's now 8,000 spotting damage, which would be treated as if he'd done 4,000 damage of his own. Object 140, again, even more spotting damage. Coming up to 1 minute remaining. It's not often you get a World of Tanks battle that lasts as long as this. Normally they're over and done in anything between 4 and 6 minutes. Remember, he doesn't have to have line of sight to the Object 140, he just has to be within 50 meters. Any proximity detects him, so this is completely safe. And if the Object 140 wants to come out and shoot him, well, be my guest, because he's going to be running right into the guns of the rest of Mighty Sniper's team. Here comes the Progetto. Obviously he's a one-shot kill, but so's the Object 140. It's just a question of who's going to blink first. The Progetto's taking the shot, he falls back, the Object 140 comes out, it's like, oh my god, it's a shit bomb. Yeah, I'm afraid there just wasn't enough map left for him to back up into. And that is it. One of the best World of Tanks battles I have seen in recent memory. Mighty Sniper there, doing over 2,000 damage of his own, after being reduced to 141 health at the start of the battle, and nearly 10,000 spotting damage, which is a ridiculously good achievement in World of Tanks for a light tank player these days, especially in battles where there are EBRs around stealing all of the spotting. The EBR on his team, of course, was the first one dead, and so he didn't have that problem. And it may even have been a good thing that he took that colossal hit from the Death Star right at the beginning of the match, because from that point on, he had to play smart. Otherwise, he would definitely have taken more chances and probably would have died halfway through the battle. Plus, it definitely caused him to save money, because he could only take opportunity shots, which meant that he didn't actually go through much ammunition. And despite the fact that he only runs a standard account, he didn't lose money in a tier 10 battle. He actually made a profit. Alright, it's only 600 credits, but it's still a profit. So, what can I say? Congratulations to Mighty Sniper for an excellent game, extraordinarily well played, and very entertaining, at least for me to watch, and hopefully you guys agree, because that is it for today. As always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.